Dear guests, a great book about psychology of relations. Actually, the story is not about that. I had a dream to go for after trip abroad. There were so many obstacles preventing me to do so. I had my driver license obtained 5 years ago, no experience since that. If I completely forgot all the driving rules, and if you ask me, for example, about such kind of driving signs, I could say that it is an advertisement of Khachapuri or whatever. My friends and parents told me, leave the stupid idea, you have to practice for a couple of years in Russia. What did I do? I just disregard all this stuff and decided to try. So I went to Spain recently, and that was the road I have traveled. I started from Valencia because I have friends living there, and the car was the only way to get to them to visit. So upon arrival to the airport, I pick up the Volkswagen Polo Automatica, and around this time it was looking like this. The next day I moved to the south to La Manga along the highway A7, and suddenly right after I entered the highway I felt myself being a point of tension. What's wrong? Okay. Actually, I was complying with all the speed limits around this highway in all the Spain, and the violation of the limits were a lot of huge fines. There were the zero tolerance for speed violations. So I complied with the speed limits, and in 2 days, I got the idea and situation changed dramatically. Okay, video. Then, moving along the highway A7, I faced the tire blow-up, the first tire blow-up, and I didn't realize at which place it happened, and only mentioned that passing the half of the distance on the second stop, when I found this in the wheel. Yeah, the wheel was looking like this. So that's how I mastered unconsciously the extreme driving. Unfortunately, I didn't manage to repair the wheel at that place. I had to drive all the rest until La Manga and spend there half a day, and because of that our time and plans shifted for half a day, and instead of moving on the morning I had to move on the night each day since then. Here is a video, but it doesn't work, unfortunately. Next, I have arrived to Granada, the ancient capital of Arab Caliphate in the Middle Ages. Around that time, the cars were not so popular comparing to horses, and that's why there is no or zero place for cars in Granada, and I had to move to the only underground park in the center. Upon arrival there, I saw the green light telling that it is empty, so I moved in and found myself in the middle of the hell, because actually each driver had to fold his mirror, his rear mirrors, to avoid collision with other cars while moving in the ground. I went all the 4 circles of the hell down to the -4 floor and found the only one vacant place for a car. So I reserved it, went out, and it was the red sign telling me that it is full. So that's how I passed the extreme parking exam. I was luckily. Next, I moved to La Manga, and their problem came from unexpected side. Upon the crossing the border of the city, the GPS signal has been totally, completely, and irreversibly lost. So instead of 5 minutes drive to the parking in the center, I went for a wonderful, amazing 2-hour trip around the center, trying to find any parking underground to drop the car. The trip wasn't actually so smooth. And finally, in Sevilla, my car was looking a bit different. You can remember how it was looking at the start and how it looked here. So some scratches, some damage, and another wheel, etc., so on and so forth. There I had to practice my storytelling to car company, trying to explain what the hell was happening during my travel, the week I was driving, and moreover, I mastered my language skills, filling the declaración de accidente in Spanish on English, actually. So yeah, this is my very first accident report. If you like, don't waste too much time on the paying so much time to schools, driving schools. Just go to Spain, take a car, and let something go wrong. In the road, less travel. Thank you.